They say some mysteries grow darker the longer you stare at them. Some vanish into thin air, only to haunt us forever. Tonight, we step into one of the most haunting modern mysteries of America. A young woman, full of life, full of promise, drives into the freezing New Hampshire night and is never seen again. This is the story of Maura Murray, a story of shadows, of secrets, of questions without answers. A story that begins with an ordinary day, but ends with a vanishing act that has confounded police, family, and the entire internet for nearly 2 decades. But let's start at the beginning, because to understand the mystery, you have to understand the girl. Maura Murray was born on May 4, 1982, in Hanson, Massachusetts, the fourth of 5 children in a tight-knit Irish Catholic family. Her father, Fred Murray, was a school maintenance worker. Her mother, Lori, a nurse. Her siblings describe her as bright, driven, and athletic. By high school, she was excelling in nearly everything: running track, studying hard, and winning a reputation as a kind but fiercely competitive young woman. Her family called her Little Miss Perfect, and in many ways she lived up to that name. After high school, Maura earned a coveted spot at West Point, the prestigious U.S. military academy. But it wasn't a perfect fit. After 2 years, she transferred to the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, where she began studying nursing. By early 2004, at just 21 years old, Maura was balancing classes, clinicals, and a relationship with her boyfriend, Billy Roche, an Army lieutenant stationed at Fort Sill in Oklahoma. On the outside, her life looked steady: promising career, loving boyfriend, supportive family. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. And in the days leading up to her disappearance, those cracks widened into something much darker. Friday, February 6, 2004. Maura was working her usual campus security shift at UMass. At 10:30 that night, her supervisor found her sitting at her desk, phone in hand, trembling. Silent tears streamed down her face. When he asked what was wrong, she simply whispered, "My sister." She wouldn't explain further. Later, her family confirmed that her sister Kathleen had been struggling with alcohol issues, and Maura had just taken a call about another relapse. But some say her reaction seemed too extreme, like she was holding something deeper, something she wasn't ready to share. The next day, Saturday, February 7th, Maura's father Fred came to Amherst. He told police later that he was there to help Maura shop for a new car. They spent the afternoon test driving vehicles, went to dinner, and later stopped by a liquor store. Fred said he gave Maura the keys to his brand new Toyota Corolla so she could drive back to campus. That night, Maura attended a dorm party with a friend, bringing some alcohol with her. Around 2:30 in the morning, while driving Fred's car back to her dorm, she lost control and crashed into a guardrail. No one was injured, but the car was heavily damaged. Police cited her for the accident. Was it just a careless mistake? A college student driving too late, maybe after drinking? Or was it the start of something more troubling? A spiral? By Sunday, Fred returned home, upset about the wreck, but told Maura they'd sort out the insurance later. Still, friends say Maura seemed distracted, distant. Something was on her mind. Then came Monday, February 9th, 2004, the day she disappeared. At 1 p.m., Maura emailed her professors. She told them she'd be out for a week due to a death in the family. There had been no death, no funeral, no tragedy in her family that week. Why did she lie? What was she planning? Next, she called her boyfriend Billy's cell phone, leaving a voicemail. She promised to talk later, and ended it with, "I love you." Then she did something chilling. Maura searched online for directions to Burlington, Vermont. She also looked up information on renting condos in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, a place her family often vacationed. She even checked out articles about hiking in the White Mountains and about the effect of alcohol on pregnancy. At 3:30 p.m., she withdrew $280 in cash from an ATM. The footage shows her alone, calm, wearing a black jacket. She then stopped at a liquor store where she purchased about $40 worth of alcohol: Kahlua, vodka, Bailey's Irish Cream, and a box of Franzia wine. She stuffed the bottles into a black backpack. Then she got into her beat-up Saturn sedan and drove north. Alone. Hours later, just after 7 p.m., a resident of Haverhill, New Hampshire called 911. A car had crashed into a snowbank along a dark, rural stretch of Route 112. The car was Maura's Saturn. When police arrived, the driver's seat was empty. Inside the car, they found the box of wine broken open. The airbags had deployed. On the seat, there was a rag stuffed into the tailpipe. Maura was gone. A school bus driver who lived nearby told investigators he'd stopped to help. He saw a young woman, believed to be Maura, standing by the car. She refused his help, insisting she had already called AAA. But records later showed she hadn't. That was the last confirmed sighting of Maura Murray. Police searched the area with dogs, helicopters, thermal imaging. They scoured the woods, the frozen streams. Nothing. Not a trace. So what happened to her? Some say she ran away, that she was overwhelmed by stress. Her sister's struggles, the car accident, her father's disappointment, her secret troubles. Maybe she just wanted to start over. The cash withdrawal, the alcohol, the emails to professors, maybe they were all signs of a planned escape. But if so, where did she go? And why leave her car behind? Others believe she took her own life. The White Mountains in winter are unforgiving. Temperatures that night fell below freezing. Some think Maura walked into the woods and never came back. But her family rejects that theory. They believe she was taken, abducted, perhaps by a stranger who stopped when she crashed, or perhaps by someone she planned to meet. Then there's the most sinister theory of all, that Maura's disappearance is linked to a wider pattern of young women vanishing in New England around the same time. A serial predator stalking the highways. Online, the case exploded. Amateur sleuths dissected every clue. The ATM video, the wine, the rag in the tailpipe. Was it suicide? A cover-up? A murder? The rag itself became a focal point. Fred Murray claimed he'd told Maura to put it there to reduce smoke from the exhaust. But others argue it looks more like sabotage. Even her phone records raise questions. There was a call that pinged off a tower near Bartlett, New Hampshire, 30 miles from where she vanished. Was it hers? And then, the sightings. Over the years, people have reported seeing Maura everywhere. A red-haired waitress in Canada, a homeless woman in Boston, even a young woman in Europe. Each tip has been investigated. None confirmed. To this day, no trace of Maura has ever been found. No body, no belongings, nothing. Her father, Fred, has never stopped searching. He believes his daughter was murdered that night, taken by someone who still walks free. He has begged for renewed investigations, demanded answers, chased every lead. But the truth is, the trail went cold almost as soon as it began. So what do we make of this? A young woman with everything to live for, with secrets of her own, with stresses and struggles hidden beneath a perfect smile, drives into the night and disappears. Was it escape? Was it despair? Or was it evil, lurking on a frozen highway, waiting for her to crash into the snow? Some mysteries feel almost designed to torment us, to remind us that life doesn't always give us answers. And so, the disappearance of Maura Murray remains. A haunting silence. A frozen snapshot of headlights on a dark New Hampshire road. A young woman's footprints vanishing into snow. And a question that still chills anyone who hears it. Where did Maura Murray go? Do you love this story and want to see more? Like, subscribe and comment so you don't miss out on our next chilling tale.